Hi guys, I thought I'd do a video on diabetes in winter white Campbell's Russian hybrids with an actual diabetic hamster, because I haven't really seen any videos on YouTube with a hamster that's actually got diabetes. So I'm going to tell you what I've learned and what I know and how I'm dealing with it. This is Belle. She's a winter white hybrid. She's not a pure winter white. I knew when I got her that they were prone to diabetes, and I was well aware of that, and I was prepared to put her on a low sugar diet and try and keep that at bay. She was 8 weeks when I got her. I got her from a local person, not a professional breeder. She was 8 weeks when I got her, and that was just before Christmas, and we're now in the end of February. So yeah, she was 8 weeks when I got her. Within 2 days of having her, I realised that she was drinking a hell of a lot of water, and she was peeing lots. She was absolutely soaking her sand bath. And I started weighing her water. I put a bottle on the scales when I filled it, and then the next day when I went to refill it, I'd weigh it again, and she was drinking 20 grams of water a day, which is a hell of a lot considering she weighs 48 grams. She was drinking pretty much half her body weight, which is totally abnormal. The signs of diabetes, and if you have a winter white or Campbell's, if you got it from a pet shop, it's going to be a hybrid. If it didn't come with papers, it's a hybrid. It's not a pure winter white. And that means that they are definitely susceptible to diabetes. So the first thing I did when I noticed her drinking a lot was I bought this off Amazon, which are keto diastics, and they test for, they test for glucose and ketones. Let's focus in now. There you go. That's about £8, I think. So what I did was I put her in a little travel cage, and with a diabetic hamster that's drinking that amount of water, it's not very long before they pee. So you take the stick out, dip it in her pee, or his pee, whoever you're testing, and her glucose was coming up really high and her ketones were 0. Now I will say that just because it tests positive, you do need to take them to the vet. Don't just assume it's diabetes. They could have a urine infection which can cause glucose in the urine. She was put on Baytril, but it actually made no difference. So what I've done, and her diabetes is not under control. You'll hear people say that you can, just keep it under control with diet. In her case, it's not. I mean, her glucose at the moment is 0, but her ketones have gone up. And as you can see from the beginning of this video, her behaviour is quite erratic. So the symptoms of diabetes is, the first one, the obvious one, is drinking a lot of water. So on her water bottle, she was drinking down to about here within 24 hours. And then of course with the drinking there'll be excess peeing. You'll find wet spots. If they've got sand bath, it'll be wet. There'll be wet spots in the corner, and it's pretty obvious. Other symptoms of diabetes are excessive hunger, excessive exercise, erratic behaviour, and sleeping a lot as well. So what I did immediately was, she came to me on WAG food, which to me is not a good diet. So I slowly changed over the course of a week onto Burgess Dwarf Hamster, and that alone wasn't doing anything, and she was leaving bits of it out. So I've literally been through trial and error through different things. I put her on a seed mix, which I'm not going to tell you because I made it up myself, and she didn't like it and she wasn't getting all of her nutrition out of it, so I'm not going to give that recipe. The other thing I did as well is I put her on organic fenugreek seeds, which is a hypoglycemic, which lowers the blood sugar. You can give these, but I'd start off at 5 a day, and you must not exceed, you must never give them more than 20 seeds a day of these. It hasn't worked in her case, so I've actually stopped them. It does make their urine smell of curry or maple syrup, as some people say, very strong smell. But I was willing to give it a go. At the moment, I've literally just recently switched her to this diet. So that's bunny dwarf hamster food, and it's got no sugar in it. It's got no corn in it. No, it has got peas in it, but I picked those out. And that's from Zoo Plus, and it's £6. But this is the best food for a diabetic hamster. Her actual diet is, so she gets a tablespoon of that. Then in the evening she has broccoli, which is a good veg because it's high in fibre. So she gets a teaspoon of broccoli. What else do I give her? She gets a teaspoon of mealworms as well, because that's high protein. You want to get them on a high protein, high fibre diet, low carb diet. I occasionally give her boiled egg, a little bit of boiled egg white, about a teaspoon of that. You can give them tofu, a teaspoon of tofu a day, raw. Hi baby. Sorry, this video wasn't rehearsed and scripted, so I'm going off a bit here. So, talking about vets, now I'm in the UK. There are vets that will give hamsters, diabetic hamsters, medication, but unfortunately I've seen 2 vets now and neither have they've never heard of diabetes in hamsters, and they're not willing to prescribe any diabetic medication. So you would have to go to an exotic vet. So if you look up exotic vets in your area and give them a call if your hamster, or you suspect your hamster's diabetic, you're more likely to get medication from an exotic vet than just a standard vet. Also, my vet told me that you can't say that a hamster's got diabetes by testing with human sticks, but it's well known in the hamster community that is the only way to diagnose them with diabetes is to use keto diet sticks. As I say, her diabetes is not under control, and I've been trying to get this under control since December, and I'm not having luck at all. As you can tell, her behaviour is erratic, and she does very odd things as well. At the moment she's going through a pouching phase where she literally pouches all of her food and just doesn't eat it. The only thing she'll eat is the broccoli. So sadly, I think for her quality of life, I'm going to have to make a decision soon whether I have her put to sleep or not, because I have not been offered any treatment. The diet, I've done everything I can diet wise. She's on a sugar-free diet, a low-fat diet with plenty of protein and high fibre, and it's just not controlling the diabetes. She sleeps a hell of a lot. Her behaviour is so erratic. She literally leaps off things. She kind of has moments where she doesn't know what she's doing. Where you gone, Belle? She's also become very bitey as well. But yeah, food basics are Harry Hamster. You're drinking again, Bubba. Harry Hamster food is a good mix, but you want to remove the sweet corn, the peas, and the flaked corn as well. They can't have that. They can't have sweet vegetables. Because that's just going to raise the glucose even more. So so that's Harry Hamster, Burgess Dwarf, and then Bunny Dwarf Hamster mix, which I just picked the flaked peas out of this. Everything else is fine in this. Totally fine for her. But yeah, sadly, I can't get her diabetes under control. There's not an exotic vet anywhere near me. I've seen 2 different vets now, and they're not willing to put her on any medication. So yeah, this is her behaviour. Bless her. And the sad thing is, I love her to bits, and I didn't know that they can be born with diabetes. So it's not like I had a chance to try and keep it at bay. So I just wonder what her quality of life is. But I would, as food, sorry, back to food again. So Harry Hamster is a low sugar mix. Burgess Dwarf Hamster mix is another low sugar mix, and the Bunny Dwarf, which you can get from zooplus.co.uk, I would say is the best mix. And just pick out the peas and any corn. Vegetable wise, you don't want to go for anything sweet. They can't have carrot. So you want to stay away from sweet vegetables. Broccoli is excellent, as I said earlier, because it's very high in fibre. So I boil that. I give her a teaspoon of that a day. Cucumbers are excellent as well, because with diabetes they can suffer dehydration, and they're getting the moisture out of the cucumbers. That's good for them. Red pepper is another one, a teaspoon of that, but not obviously not the pepper seeds. There's a full food list on, I think it's Honey Hams Yahoo. If you Google it, there's a full list of diabetic friendly foods, vegetables and foods. And of course they need a high protein diet as well. So you're going to want to provide a teaspoon of mealworms a day, a teaspoon of boiled egg white, hard boiled obviously, a teaspoon of tofu, which is raw. Fibre, other fibre is whole wheat pasta, a teaspoon of Weetabix, but not with the added sugar in it. But I just wanted to make a video really with my experience with a diabetic hamster that was a young onset, and sadly I don't want to lose her, but I don't think her prognosis is good, because as I say, since December I've been trying to control this by diet, and it's not going that way, and her behaviour is just very odd and erratic, and I just wonder if she's got any quality of life. So yeah, first things, if you suspect your hamster's got diabetes, test the urine. As I say, you can get that from Amazon. Make sure it's the glucose and the ketone sticks, because the first time I bought them I accidentally bought just ketone, but you really do need both. If they've got high ketones, then that means they're not well at all. It basically means that they're going into starvation and dehydration. So that is definitely a vet trip right there. But as I say, yeah, if you do test and they are they have got high glucose or high ketones, both, or one or the other, don't just self-diagnose. You do need to take them to the vet, because as I said, you know, it could mean that they have a urine infection or other things wrong with them. So definitely always seek a vet's advice. Don't just self-diagnose. But sorry about the mumblings on the video. As I say, it wasn't scripted. I was just trying to come up with something informative with my own personal experience. So Belle, yeah, she's about 5 months now, and I'm gonna have to kind of take her to the vet and have a think and see where we go from here, because she can't carry on like that. And at the last visit of her vets, the vet felt her kidneys and they were large. They were enlarged, bigger than they should be, so that's not good. I love her to bits, I don't want to lose her, but I think it's all about quality of life in the end, and I don't feel her quality of life is excellent. So yeah, sadly I'm going to have to make a decision. I hope you found this video a little bit helpful, but you can always go to hamster forums, and you've got Google, Honey Hams, Yahoo is an excellent about diabetes if you Google that as well. And there's also Little Angels, Diabetic Dwarfs, and they've got an excellent food list for diabetic dwarf hamsters as well. Thanks for watching, bye.